Hi, guys. Welcome to this edition of Tuesdays at 2. I am Antoinette LaGrossa, and today we're going to be talking about Mother's Day crafts. For those of you who are new to Schiller Learning, we are part of the nonprofit Rising Stars Foundation. Um, these are live sessions, so if you are watching the replay, you may see me pause while I read that incoming chat. Next thing I want to reference is that in addition to the crafts that you are seeing here today, if you are a Schiller Learning customer, if you have ordered anything where you've had to go through the checkout process, even if it was a freebie through a homeschool convention, you have access to the Schiller Learning bonus crafts section. So check those out. Some of those actually make nice Mother's Day gifts as well, especially that paper weave placemat. We talked about that in another session, but check those out. You'll find that if you go to the Schiller Learning website, check check the button for customer login, enter your email address, and then your password. If you need any assistance logging in, there is a chat button on the website. You can just let us know that you need your password or call our 800 number. Crafts, that is definitely one of the joys of motherhood, as long as you don't try to make them too complicated too early on. Sometimes keeping it simple is really best. Flowers for mom. Flowers are always a great Mother's Day gift. We did in our Tuesdays at 2, that was on the spring crafts for the homeschool. We included links and ideas in there for some spectacular flower templates, and those will make great additions to, as pictured, a simple Mother's Day card, or any type of craft. So check that Tuesday at 2 session out also. Don't want to spend a lot of time talking about flower craft ideas today, simply because we do have that other session for you to check out. So look at that also. Today, for our Mother's Day crafts, we are going to look to the Schiller Learning logo for inspiration. And of course, in our logo, you see that adult hand along with that child hand. And it is all about those precious little hands. They do not stay little nearly long enough. Um, I can say, as a mom of 5, 3 of whom are now adults, those hands do not stay little nearly long enough. That is certainly one of the challenges of motherhood that I've encountered, is making that transition emotionally as your kids move on. So recording those little handprints now, whether it is for yourself or a grandparent, a stepmother, or a special aunt or other female that is really close to your child, Mother's Day is a nice time to honor all of those folks. Okay, so let's look at some things that we can do with handprints. And have any of you had children grow up and leave the house yet? And if so, what are your tips for making that adjustment? So first craft that we're going to look at, and all of these again, these are all really simple things. You can, most of them are designed to be done on 8.5, 11 paper. Of course, you can do them on larger sheets as well. Um, Finger paint is a nice medium to use. It's non-toxic. It easily washes off. So for the handprint garden, we are going to first start off with the handprints. It is easier to paint a stem to match up with the handprint than it is to get the kids to put their handprint exactly where it needs to be onto that stem. So finger paint, and kids are going to have fun with all of these. They love to absolutely get their hands soaked up with that paint, create a garden, and now for this, you can either, print the title of your garden. In this case, we're doing this for grandma and used freestyle script as the font. That's the one that you see there on your screen. Another font that is a little fun looking and has a script element to it is Modern Love Grunge. That's another font that I really like. You can also use the finger paint for the stems, but you can also get creative with that. So little bits of green tissue paper torn up into tiny little bits and then glued together as a mosaic for creating the stem and leaves. That is a really pretty look also. Or you could paint the stem and then do the little bits of green tissue paper for creating the leaves. So of course, if you are going to print the title using a word processor, you want to do that first and then paint. Or you can have the child write whatever that title is for this, as well as all of the others that we're going to see that are on paper. Um, do that with their best handwriting. Next up, mom in the family. This is a fun one. You are going to do mom really big on a piece of paper. This is nice, if there is just a single child in the family. But for families where there are additional kids, you can go ahead and use a larger sheet of paper and have additional handprints lining the bottom of that. Um, or if you have a toddler and a smaller handprint, you can make that mom portion smaller. And then again, for the center of our family and our hearts, you can either print that using a word processor. That also on the screen there is in that freestyle script. Okay, yes. And just a note for if you do have adult children who are um, venturing out onto their own in the world, absolutely those texts and phone calls, keeping in contact frequently. And that good communication, by the way, um, after the kids move out, that starts when they are young. Your kids are more likely, I think, and of course, there's no hard and fast rules, absolutes in parenting, a lot of variance in there. But if you start communicating and having open lines of communication, and your kids are comfortable talking to you about, really anything in life, they are definitely more likely to continue that communication. That's I know when my oldest moved out, we definitely called and texted a lot more in the beginning than we do now, but we still do keep in regular contact. And so that absolutely would be key for coping with the older kids moving on. Okay. And, as being the center of the family, we're often the ones coordinating activities, picking all of the curriculum. So this is a nice craft, again, as a Mother's Day gift for mom or grandmom. And of course, if you're going to use grandmom, then your word is going to change a little. Placement of that hand will be different. But just a reminder that it's really important because we are often doing so many different things, filling so many different roles for our families, that you take time for self-care. Um, our In our homeschool freebie bundle, which you will find at the Schiller Learning blog. In that homeschool freebie bundle, there are literally hundreds of pages of both curriculum samples as well as planners. There is a mom planner in there, and there are some really nice ideas for self-care. If you are, well, let's see, if you're in this session, you are on the Schiller Learning mail list. But if you're watching the replay and aren't on the Schiller Learning email list, sign up for that. If you subscribe to the blog, you'll get it. But each year we do a series of emails at the beginning of a new year with ideas for, um, self-care and homeschool tips. So every year there's great new ideas to go with that. Okay, so mom being the center of our family and our heart. Handprints for the heart. And with this one, we have a simple phrase on there. Mothers hold our hearts for a while. Excuse me, I just read that wrong. Mothers hold our hands for a while, but our hearts forever. Indeed, that is very true. Um, and so for this, if you are going to be, and again, either print this with a word processor or have the child write it out. With all of the phrases that we're using, it can be fun to accent one or a couple of the words with a larger font, or of course, larger writing. And that's what we did here with that forever. Now, if you are going to use different color paints for the hands creating the heart, which, is pictured there, it also looks nice with a single color. But if you are going to use different colors, let one of those dry before doing the others. You can also, with multiple children, uh, use hands for printing into a larger heart using the hands of all the kids and even the parents as well. So this could be a family gift um, or a grandmom too. Another idea, again, grandma, mom, this is easily customizable, and that is the little hands fill our hearts. And again, you can do a single set of handprints or multiples to fill that heart. And with this, um, you paint the heart first, let that dry, and then do additional, the handprints on top of that. This is another one where it looks nice with handprints lining the bottom of that paper. The font on this one is a little different. This is Add Script. So if you want to print that out and you like the look of that font, that one is called Bad Script, which hopefully your days don't feel like someone has written a bad script for you. Which brings us to, mom challenges. There are so many really funny stories in motherhood, If you would like to share any of yours, we would love to hear them. Um, One of the funny stories from when my um, one of my older boys was a toddler is that we were in church, and it was a really quiet moment in church, and we're kneeling down, and so you know, everyone's quiet and low, and all of a sudden my son pops up. He jumps up and gets out of the pew and yells, "I've got to get out of here." Everyone's kneeling, so it's hard to ignore the fact that this child is now standing, um, and he runs out. And it was one of those moments where I thought, okay, um, would anyone notice if I didn't go after him? Can I just pretend I don't know him? I did go after him, and I got a lot of laughs afterwards. So now I know that motherhood is full of those, in the moment, cringy things, but afterwards, there's so much that we can laugh about and have funny stories when the kids get older. Okay, this next craft, um, you can use glass or acrylic paint. Um, One of the things you can, for the vase, you can get a inexpensive vase from somewhere like the dollar store or something like that. You can paint the inside of the vase, and then that's going to give the color a really glossy look because, of course, it's the glass. And then simply print the handprint on the outside. You can also repurpose, recycle. Um, a pasta sauce jar, one of the mason jar type of containers, and again, paint that inside. If you're going to use glass paint, which of course will adhere better to the glass, I recommend using medical gloves simply because um, that way, and that's like a latex or neoprene glove if you have a latex allergy. Um, it's going to be cleanup is going to be a lot easier, and your kids won't have paint on their fingers for days afterwards. And you can use that glass paint and the gloved hand for printing the handprint. You can also use the finger paint to do the handprint and then decoupage over that. Also, you can add a picture of the kids to the opposite side of the vase from the handprint and just go ahead and decoupage over that. If you print the picture on just regular copy paper or printing paper, then that decoupage, it's going to be easier to do than actual photo paper. So printing on plain paper is great for that. Decorate it with ribbon, maybe a little card, and then go ahead and fill that with flowers. Okay. Um, and so those are inspired by the hands in our logo, and it'll help you memorialize those little hands while they still are. Um, Now, you can do fun things with feet also. One of those is to create butterflies. You can do a Mother's Day card or a little poster on 8.5, 11. Um, with this again, finger paint is a nice option because it's going to, wash easily. And then they can either finger paint the body and eyes and antennae, or they can use a brush, either one with that. And then, you know, with this is a printed Happy Mother's Day again with that bad script. Um, but the hand painted is really nice with this too. To get the butterfly look, you just want to print the feet backwards. So you're not going to be able to have them do both feet in the paint at one time, or at least not standing on the paper um, at the same time with the feet. And then with all of these, but especially, the butterfly, you can either keep that simple as is or add a background with sky and ground and, let your child, you can give this as a simple starting point and see where they take that. So that actually is that wraps up the handful of crafts that we had um, for you today, inspired by that Schiller Learning logo. I hope you have fun with those. I am glad that you enjoyed the ideas, and we really did keep them simple, memorializing those handprints, especially when they're little, but also, throughout their growth is just something that really is going to be cherished over time.